Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Elisa Maria Designs. I am Elisa Maria. Welcome back if you are back. Welcome if you are new. We're happy to have you here. And I hope that if you clicked on this video because you have a fear of square drills, that I can help you just understand that they're not scary. They're just misunderstood. So I am working on a very tiny kit, and I'm going to give you some tips and tricks. And they're really not just tips and tricks. I think that these really are the basics of square drills. What I really should do is I'm going to get my first square drill painting. 1 second, I'm back. This is my first square drill. This is Wink from Diamond Art Club. Now, take a good look. Black and white are probably the hardest drills that you are going to be working with because they show every detail. And you can see here, I have misalignment, but this was my first try. And I will say, and it must have been like a little bit of a foreshadowing that I did a talk on patience. If you need to have a little bit more patience, and if you need to let go of control, find a medium that is going to ask of you to slow down, because you just don't have any other choice other than to slow down. This is my first, and you know what? I love him. I'm so proud of him. I did take a Dollar Tree dollar frame, and I did make the molding, and I'm going to be bringing some of these ideas back with molding for making frames and even enhancing frames that you get from the dollar store. You might get a plain little frame from the dollar store, but I'm going to show you how you can use some clay and really spice them up. He's so cute. I just love him. And it's a reminder that, you know, when I sat down with this, I mean, I had a lot of fear and a lot of trepidation because I ordered the winter fox, which is on my wall, and I thought it was a round and it was a square, and I was having a major panic attack live, you know, on video, and trying to, you know, get air into my lungs, because to take something on that big without ever doing a square, yeah, it was a panic for me. But I went and got this little guy and I worked with him, and you can do that too. You can get a square drill small mini kit. I don't know how small the kits are on Amazon. That I see a lot of them on Amazon that are from Diamond Art Club. Let me see, I think I have a couple in here. Now these aren't so small, but I am going to take this out because I want to use the round drills also as an example, just to show you the difference between round and square. Round and square. You're going to see you have a little bit more wiggle room with the round, right? There's space in between them, whereas these click together. They bump up against one another. So let's get to it. Let me tell you about the kit that I have. I'll keep this out as reference. And let's get started. Let's have some fun. Practice kit from Diamond Art Emporium. The size on this, do I not have a size? Centimeters. It's 23 by 18, and in inches it is 8.5 inches by 7. So it's not big, but look at the impact that you have with this. It is 27 colors also, and I believe that there are 3 special drills in this kit, so you're not going to get bored with this kit at all. It's a lovely photo of a woman's face. There are other canvases that you can pick. I can't remember. I think one of them is a fox. I can't remember what the other one is, but I thought this is something that I can probably get a frame in a dollar store, maybe even do something like I did with the clay and I could put this in my vanity or above my makeup vanity that I have. I can frame it and put it in my bathroom. I'm looking to do things with my art also once I have it completed, not just, put it away somewhere. Already kitted up the drills. Now this is the kit that came with it. So let's take a look at that. It's pretty standard. You have your little white tray and you have a pen with a squishy. I might have put that on already. You have a tweezer for alignment. You have a plate of wax and you have 3 multi-placers. We're not going to worry about these multi-placers, and in fact I'm going to ditch them. These are the older wider ones. I don't know, maybe I'll keep them. Maybe as a beginner, it's kind of like training wheels, you might want to use a wider opening here as opposed to something that I am using now, which is my Diamond Art Club. This picks up squares really, really nicely, and you can see them depending on how you pick them up. I picked them up more towards, I pushed them over to the line and picked them up so that they hang off a little bit so I can see my placement. I am a multi-placer. So for me to do one by one, dotting or doing any kind of patterning with the square drills, yeah, I need to practice. I need to practice a little bit more patience and slowing down. So again, a lot of people are scared, including myself, of square drills. And I think, and you can please comment, let me know, I think for me, the square drills are smaller than the round, slightly smaller. And, you would think that them being able to buddy up against each other, like you would have like a little edge that you can lean into, would give you some self-confidence or make you feel a little bit like, and just like that, a little bit more confident by, okay, I have this right up against the one before. But there's a little work that goes into that also, and it all begins with your foundation line. But I don't want to jump ahead here. So that's just a little bit of an explanation of how square drills will differ from round. Like we saw in the canvas that I have here from Diamond Art Club, or any round drill. Now, from what I've heard from Diamond Art Club is they have tightened their canvases also in their round drills, and their round drills are almost snapping in. You see how you have that little bit of space, a little bit of forgiveness there. And I think because the rounds are a little bit bigger, just slightly bigger, they might be easier to handle. So you let me know in the comments what it is about your fear with square drills. There is a little bit more precision that's needed. They do, again, snug together. It's almost like tile with no grout line. So they have a snug tile-like fit. I would say that to begin, we'll go over some tools and prep that would help make this a little bit more satisfying, make you feel a little bit more confident. And if you're anything like me, when I get something new, I just want to rip open the package and start practicing. But take your time, begin here when you get your kit, open it up, really take a look at it and you appreciate the artwork, look at the drills, take your time kitting up. I will say with this kit, the kitting up for me, I'm already dyslexic, so your symbol is over here on the left, and then the numbering is happening like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That could be confusing because that's not traditional. Usually it's the number that is here, and then the symbol, and then your DMC code. So you're going to have to be a little bit more attentive to this being your symbols on the left, and this just being how many drills are here. So take your time getting to know your kit. Set up. I have set up in ARTDOT containers. And what I do also is I separate my white symbols from my dark symbols. Okay, so my white symbols go on the right hand side and my dark symbols go on the left hand side. It just makes it easier for me that when I'm looking for, let's just say K here, I know that K is a dark symbol and I don't have to look at the right side of my tray. I just have to look at the left, and it's going to be in alphabetical order also. That's a little tip for you there. Now, the kit did come with its own tray, and you're welcome to use that. But if you're venturing into square drills, most people don't venture into square drills right off the bat. They like have their tray, they have their pen, they have their putty, their wax that they like using. I use the ARTDOT ones. You might even want to keep a couple out. Sometimes I do that. I keep a couple of these out, and they do hinge together. I do take a China marker or a crayon if you want to keep a couple out, and I'll just write the symbol here. So let's just write K on this one, so I know K is in here. If you don't want to be bothered going back and forth, if you don't have little eyes that are curious and want to play with mommy or daddy's drills, and if you don't have a pesky cat like I do and you can leave your stuff out on your desk, this is a great little system here. I also want to show you, let's get this out of the way. Now, this is something that I really appreciate, is when looking at the glue line here. You take your cellophane. This is a thinner cellophane. Now, there's not much of a glue line here. I am not a washi tape person, because now the washi tape is going to run along here and it's going to run right into my symbols. I won't be able to see them, and you know, that's a problem for me. There's not a lot of a glue line, but if you are beginning, let's start on the other side. I would say run yourself a washi line. It'll help you keep things even, okay? Because you're going to have a straight edge here that's going to help you. I've worked around using washi tape. You know, I try and find things that work for me, and then I share them with others. I have used a ruler because there is a little bit of a glue line there, and I could just put the ruler down. It's not going anywhere. See? I can use that glue line to help me keep my edge even. I also like to use, if you get an ARTDOT all-in-one kit, I believe maybe it comes in, I don't know what other kit it comes in, but I know it comes in the all-in-one kit. It has a nice little finger grip on it. It's see-through, so I'm just going to use another edge here. You can use this, and then you can pull it right back up if you have to change. And this is going to be a 10 by 10. This is 4 inches or 10 centimeters. If you are using your washi tape to section off, that's going to be the area that you're working in. Or you can just use this as a visual line if that helps. But again, for me, washi tape, we don't get along. We just don't. But for you, I will show you how to run your washi tape along the edge. Here we go. I will be using washi tape, but it's not going to be to do my border. So a tip that I learned when I was learning how to draw is to look at where you want to go. So I'm not looking at the washi tape. I'm looking at where I want to go. I want the washi tape to land right there. And I'm always going to get a straight line. I was going to use my washi tape to attach this to my light board because it is small and I don't want it moving around. I want it steady. I don't want to have anything that's going to make this process, oh, you know, I'm leaning on it, or I am, it's moving around. Let me just put the plastic back on top, turn this over. I think I want to cut this. I don't want to have, I don't want to fold it over and have like a bump. So I'll cut this off. There's a little overhang also on the plastic. This is another trick that you can use. You can take this, you can barely see it, you see it? You could take this little overhang and you can use this as an invisible washi tape if you like. And that stays, it stays pretty good on there, better than washi tape. So, okay, so you have a nice straight line here for your edge, and you could do that all the way around. So I have my tray. We saw I showed you my multi-placers, but I don't want to get into that right now. You're more than welcome to use this wax that came with your kit, or if you have your own wax that you like to use, or your own putty. My favorite is the ARTDOT in the blue container because it will pick up AB drills. And it has a nice release to it. I'm not fighting with my wax. I'm not fighting with my putty because those things are going to just agitate you. You're already trying to learn something new. So use something that works for you, that is comfortable. I have some extra drills on the top here that I glued on the top of my containers. I do that so that when I am picking up my wax, and then what I do is I place my pen in there just to get the runoff out of there, just to pack it in, because I don't want that residue on the drills that are going to be on my canvas. So that's another little tip there. And another tool that I would say, and it came with your kit, you may be wondering, why do I have a tweezer? You may put a drill down incorrectly. You may want to straighten it out. Now I'm going to try these out. I actually like Diamond Art Club tweezers. No, I'm sorry. I don't like Diamond Art Club. Diamond Art Club tweezers are really long and thin. So I use them for other things. I don't even think I have a one to show you that shows you the difference. I think I have both of these are Dreamer Design, and Dreamer Design will pick up round or square drills. You get them in every kit that you buy. You'll always get a pair of tweezers. When you buy a round kit from Diamond Art Club, you're not getting a tweezer. You're just going to get these in the square kits. So this is Dreamer Design, and they don't pick up even the square drills. Now this has a little bit of tension to it, which I like. So I feel like I have a better grip. So I like my Dreamer Design tweezers. So I'm just showing you what my favorites are and what I would be using. But I'm going to try and use these. They came with the kit. They are a little bit more delicate, a little bit more lighter. They're not as sharp, which is nice. If you're new, you won't, if you feel like, oh, I'm going to go into my canvas, which these can. I'm constantly getting myself injured. You know, my hand slips, I stab my other hand, or they drop on my thigh. I mean, they are very sharp. You have to be careful. But these are kind of sweet, so we'll see. If you put a drill down correctly, and I'll show you when we do that, don't move it with your pen. Don't try and get it to get back into place. It's not going to. This is a very tacky poured glue. Okay, but it's like a rubber band. And what happens is you go and push it and it pushes back. So it's very tacky. I don't even like sticking my finger in there. I'm getting the oils of my hand on there. So what you would do, you would pick it up and then place it back down correctly. So we'll go over that also. But you can use, you know, a thin tip tweezer to just nudge it. But I like picking the drill up and putting it back down. You spend, I think, more time trying to nudge it and align it by moving it on glue. So we're going to start with a color block where there's a lot of the same color. And I see that down here with number 3, which is going to be a black. However, I don't know if black is going to show up as well. I will say I took a really good look at this canvas. Now you wouldn't think that there are 27 colors in here, but there are. So there's a nice mix of color blocking. You're going to be practicing that. There's a nice mix of confetti. There's a mix of having drills that are like enhancement AB drills, and I believe that there's a crystal also. And then there's a nice chunk that has you practicing a patchwork, but with 2 different colors. I believe it's 2 here and 2 different colors here. So I would really like to start with a color that has a little color. So I think I'm going to start with the P, because that's that beautiful blue. Okay, so here are my trays, and like I was telling you, I have my black symbols on the left, and then I have like a demarcation line of just empty drill cases that came with this kit, and then I have my white symbols on the right. So I'm looking for number P, but let me tell you, this is making me just crazy. I don't have my drill cases in numerical order, so what I am going to do is I am going to just get this out of my way, because I am getting confused. If I have to pick up number 8, let's just say, and I'm like, oh, 8's a dark color, but so is 5, and you're just if you've done diamond painting, you are just used to your numbers being on the left, your symbol being in the middle, and then your DMC code. So I need to get this out of here, because I will eventually pick up the wrong one, and it's just causing me some stress that I don't need. Okay, I'm learning something new, and this has all been done for you, because even when I was kitting up, I don't know if I kitted up anything incorrectly, but I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't look like the color. So just be careful. And so I'm just going to get this out of here, get it out of my face. And this might be something that you want to practice, where you know, separating the white and the black symbols, so that you don't get confused. It's just, for me, it's just, I like when I knew that I had to get symbol P, I knew it was white. I didn't have to look at 27 containers. I only had to look at 14 containers. So it's kind of half and half. Okay, so here is P. Just a little tip. If you're new here, you will be introduced to a lot of tips that I give out all the time. Now I do have my Diamond Art Club. I like this pen because it's always ready to go. It always has putty in it, so I'm going to leave that out. I do have my shorter pen because it does have my favorite multi-placer, and it does have my favorite putty in there. And I have another pen here, which is another one of my favorites. This does have a skinnier multi-placer. I like this plastic one, and I don't think I have anything. I might have some wax in here, maybe just as, you know, something different. Sometimes I want to wax, you know, we're fickle, we want what we want. So we have our light board, and drills love a light board. But what I am going to use my washi tape for is I am going to, and this is what I would do if I was watercoloring, I would mount my paper down so it doesn't move. And that's what I am going to use my washi tape for. I'm going to mount my paper down. I wonder if I cover this button, will it stop turning on and off? Let's see. Give anything a try once. Probably not. No, it's still going to turn on and off. Anyway, so let's see. Is this down secure enough? No. I'm going to pick this up so that I don't tape the plastic down. Be careful with these thinner plastics too, or any cellophane. The part that's underneath is okay. It won't stick to your glue. But this top part, should your cellophane turn over and touch this glue, you're going to have a very hard time. You're probably going to be crying. I know I was. So I'm just going to get this down here. I'm just going to mount my little canvas down. And you could you could have went all the way with the washi tape and mounted it down. You see how I showed you that frame from the dollar store? Well, they also have like planks of wood. I have one downstairs. I'm using it while I work on another small canvas that I got from ARTDOT, and I do have it taped down because it moves around and I don't want it moving around. This is not going to move while I am working. If I need to get to a section, I'll turn the entire light board. So this is 10 centimeters or 4 inches right here. So let me get my little, right here. And this is going to be 4 inches right here. So this is where I would run my washi tape line, right here. And right here, that's a 4 inch by 4 inch or 10 centimeter by 10 centimeter square. Again, I'm just looking at my blue line, boop, not looking at anything else, and I'm able to make a straight line, and that's a 10 centimeter line. There you go. Let me just use this ruler so you're on point here. I feel like I have to do this line like once or twice every time I go to cut it, but let's see. Oh no, I actually got it on the first try. Hooray me. Got little ruler here, and I'll use this like a bone folder just to get it down. A lot of people use their little cover minder. Okay, so we have our drills and we have our tray that came with this. I'm sorry, I think I'm just going to toss it. I see my ARTDOT containers here, and I just know that they're going to make my life a lot easier. So I'm going to just put them in there, because they lay, not that there's anything wrong with these, but they don't really lay the way that I like them to, and they seem a little bit flimsy. So give your drills a shake and a tap. Okay. So when you look at your drills, these are really nice drills. This is one thing I love about Diamond Art Emporium, is I really like their drills. Now there's not much that I have to pick out of here that I see any tabs, any different shapes. Sometimes you look at your drills and they just have like different shapes to them. It's really annoying. It really is, to have drills, because if they're different shapes, it's just not right. It's not filling in the drill space. So these are really nice, nicely done. I like this ruler. I call it a ruler. I don't even think ARTDOT realizes, because I haven't seen them market this as being 4 inches. I don't think that they realize that they have something that would make, you know, you don't have to measure 10 by 10. You just have this ruler right here, and it works perfectly. Just get this right in where I'm going to be working. Okay, so that's going to keep my line up there straight, and I can always move it around. So I am going to take the pen that came with the kit, and maybe even the wax too. Just, I feel like you should try everything that comes with your kit, because you never know. And we're only going to be using single placing. Now, there's a silicone top and bottom on these wax plates that you get. I usually take the top part off, and I stick this right on my diamond painting, because it's not going in. It's not going to stick. It's silicone. It'll come right off. Okay. So if you load up a lot, I don't know what this wax is going to be like working with. So I would, you know, like to have it nearby and just give it a little, my hand's in the way. Just give it a little twirl. There we go. We're ready to go. We're ready to diamond paint. We're going to take it one at a time. So picking up, and get a good look at most of the drill. I kind of push it so that I have it, I can see it, and just take your time. Just breathe. And again, don't look at the drill. Look at the drill space. This is where I want to go. And you're going to land right there. Now we can take it one at a time. Okay? It's like putting down tile. You have somebody that you're going to be standing shoulder to shoulder with. Get this lined up. One thing I will say see, that's not correct. See how that drill is smaller? And get my tweezer. And you want him out of there. He's not correct. He's a trash drill. So you want him gone. Okay? If your line in your drill tray doesn't line up straight like that, then there's a problem with one of the drills. And I noticed that right away. I didn't see it the first time, but there might be a problem with him. That's why he's not lining up. So just take your time and look. Are my drills all nice and even in a line? Because this line, this first line that you're putting down is so important. It's going to be the foundation for how all the other drills are placed. So any one of you that has done crochet in the past knows what I'm talking about. If you skip a stitch, if you forget to put a stitch in when you're turning stitch, your line is off, and every line after that is going to be off. So take your time. You might even want to start, you might even want to try placing with a tweezer. A lot of people place with a tweezer. They drop their drill down. Now it's not stuck on there where you're nudging. You're just dropping it down, putting it in. I know a lot of diamond painters that do really big, extra large diamond paintings, and they use tweezers to start their foundation line. So we've done one line. It looks good. This line doesn't. This one doesn't. So I'm going to pick him up. I don't have a lot of grip with these tweezers. They're too light. So these might be tweezers that you place with, but not tweezers that you're picking up with. I'm going back to what I know and love, and that is you could see how great the glue is on here. Boy, oh boy, not given. Okay, I'm going to throw you away. I'm going to get a new drill, just because, there was too much glue stuck on the bottom. How about that? Great glue. Look at your line, because you have another drill that's going to be next to it that you are going to, if he's lopsided, then he's going to be, of course, it's just common sense. So we're placing drills one at a time right next to each other. That is a way of practicing. You can also practice doing a patchwork, and that is where you skip one and go to the next one, and skip one, go to the next one, skip one, go to the next one. Now you can do that in a straight line, or you can do that on a diagonal. This fell now on a diagonal, so I am going to continue that diagonal. I'm going to put this one here, this one here, again, looking at the drill space. Don't look at the drill. So you see, I'm working the diagonal, so I had skipped one, okay? And then there's your skip. And you can continue that way if you like. But I'm going to take this row, I'm going to skip one, and I'm going to go here. But I could go on a diagonal up here with this guy. And here. And then every now and again, just pause, put your pen down, look at your drills. Does everything look good to you? If they don't, maybe he's a little lopsided to me. Is it the same drill as before? And I leaned on the light again. Oh, wow. I gotta tell you, the grip on this glue is like nothing I have ever seen before. Okay, let's continue on. And again, I'm just using the pen that came with the kit. I like to also hold my pen more up towards the top. It's probably from painting, but I just feel like it gives me a lighter touch to picking up the drills and placing them down, because the glue is so, it is so grippy. You don't have to stress your hand. Okay, so that, I'm going to go up now. I'm going to go on a diagonal up. And then I'll go on a diagonal down. Now him, I put him in a little crooked. There we go. Again, this first line I think is the most important. The first drills that you put down. Not just everywhere, not just in every new section, in the section that you choose to work on. This is going to be what is going to play out throughout the entire canvas. I think when you use this checkerboard patterning of, and I know diamond painters that will do the entire canvas, all checkerboard, or at least the block that they're working on, they will do all checkerboard. Because they love going back and then filling in. I'm just taking my time. Put on an audio book. Put on some nice music. You know, now I'm going to go this way. I'm going to alternate, go. So you have the four corners of the drill. That's probably a nice way of remembering. Your drill has four corners, so you can place up to the right, down to the right, up to the left, down to the left. Okay, so this one I'm going to go up to the right. Up to the right here. Up to the right on this one. And then you can start working down, but we want to hear that crunch. So we're going to do a couple more lines like this. So here we go, up to the left. So you see how you get this like little checkerboard right here. And I really think that it helps with misalignment when you checkerboard. Sometimes they go in too tightly. Now that's not always something that you're doing. Sometimes it's the canvas. Sometimes the canvas drill space, the picture was rendered where the canvas drill space is too big and you see gapping, and you might want to drive yourself a little cuckoo saying, well, wait a minute, why do I have this gap? It's not snug. And then you move it, and then it's not snug on the other end. This guy over here, he's moving. Okay, I go up to the right on this one, but then I can go down to the left. And then I can start a whole new diagonal line. So what I'm looking at is the P, and my drill is going to cover that P. And that's the other thing, like really look at your canvas, look at the print work on there. I'm going to go up to the left here, or down to the right here, depending on which way you're looking and which drill you're looking at. So you get this lovely little pattern here, and this is what a lot of diamond painters like about using the patchwork, is that they are able to, when they go back, they like to do them all at once, where they're snapping in those drills. We're getting there. You might be like, oh, I would love to learn how to multi-place, and this is not the class for it. It'll be next week, Where am I going? I could pick anywhere to go, really. Here we go. Let's go here. Because I have my little tip of 4 corners. And if you lose your way, just jump right back in. Just pick somebody else. But I would do this like when I wanted to, because you can slow down. You can listen maybe more intently at your program that you're listening to, because you're not doing confetti, you know, you're not changing the drills out more often. You know, you have this is not a big space of drills, and if I had my multiplacer, I probably would have been done right now, but that's not what this is about. This is about me practicing my placement, and each drill that I pick up is another chance for me to practice my placement, practice focusing my eye on the space and not on the drill. It's kind of like that technique I learned when it came to, a lot of people are like, I can't draw a square, I can't draw a circle. And it's like, because you're looking at the pencil. Look at where you want your eye to go, and you will make a circle, and your pen or your pencil will go that way. Okay, so do we have all our patchwork done here? Do I have any other ones that I can put in? No, but you see now how your diagonal lines are the empty spaces. So now here's where the clicking comes in at. I really love that there's no tabs on these. And there's no really trashy drills. So I'm going to let you guys in on something, because you're like, where's the click? Where's the click? I'm going to let you in on something. You know when you get a click? It's usually because something is not lined up right. These are lined up so nicely, and they're falling into each one of their individual spaces, that you're not really hearing a click. You hear a click when maybe one drill is maybe just a little bit over or not aligned right, and you push that drill in and it clicks off of the one that was misaligned. So I know you guys wanted to hear a click, but pat yourself on the back if you're not. Pat yourself on the back if you're not, because you've aligned your drills very nicely. I really thought, but you could see how perfect they are going in. And like I said, be proud of yourself, because this is your foundation line, and this is going to be, oh, we might get one here. This is going to be where all the other drills that come will follow. So if you're really wanting that click, I would say, as a way of satisfying you a little bit, because it isn't an ASMR practice also, is maybe switch to some putty and you can get a pop and not a click. And I do like that I anchored my canvas down, because you see my putty is strong, and it lifted the canvas a little bit. So there, that might be your satisfaction. Wow, this ARTDOT putty is strong. So that might be where you get your little satisfaction with a pop, though I am not enjoying it lifting my canvas. Well, I guess I'm learning a few things myself here. This is a little bit more enjoyable than my canvas being pulled up. So I do think a lot of painting techniques come in with diamond painting. I remember somebody saying, well, why do you call it painting? I'm like, well, I don't call it painting. That's what it's called. Well, why is it called painting? I'm like, because you're painting with not paint. But I do, oh, did you hear that? I do feel as though when I am doing diamond painting that I do incorporate a lot of my own background with painting, with acrylics, with watercolor. Wow. Let's take a look at this up close now. There we go. I think that's a really, for me, a really good placement for someone who really doesn't dot. I multi-place. Once you're done with a section, what I like to do is take my plastic, fold it back over, and yes, I know my wax is there. It is silicone, so it's not going to stick to your canvas, but there you go. I like turning this over, and I like, if there was anything misaligned or popped up, I would be able to feel it through the plastic. The plastic is like, it's like this little sensitivity sheet. And I also like then using my ruler through the plastic so that I'm not getting any of the glue on my ruler here, and I'm not pulling any glue up from the bottom. And then just take a moment to really like look at your work, look at what you did here, and appreciate the time that you've made for yourself to do something for yourself, the time that you put aside to diamond paint. It's been about an hour. And the time that you took to practice your craft. So I am going to link this, of course, to Diamond Art Emporium. And I'm going to tell Ren, who is the owner, to be on his toes. He's like, I always know when you do a video. I sell out of whatever I have in stock. I don't know if I don't have an affiliate code, but there's always some kind of sale going on at Diamond Art Emporium. Ren is moving from his Etsy store to a website, and as he moves things out of the Etsy store, he gets rid of them, and he gets rid of that category, and he brings it over to the website. So if you don't see it on Etsy, you can go over to his website. And if this helped ease your square drill fear, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I've got more tips and confetti calmers and sparkle solutions coming soon, but this is a good place for you to start. Pick another little set. Now, I would say just pick a section if you go and get this canvas or any of the other square drill practice canvases that Ren has. And I would say to get one of his canvases, and I'll tell you why. And I told you that in the beginning. You have a nice mix of practicing color blocking. You have a nice mix. I could see like this might be a good section here. Well, maybe in here where we practice with a multi-placer. But this is going to be more confetti-ish, and this is more patchwork, but right here you're practicing. I'm going to save this section for the multi-placer, and I do have two multi-placers that I like. Of course, I like this one from Diamond Art Club, but it's too big for this tutorial. So I do have another pen that I like. I don't know if it is, oh, it is here. This is from Cat-Eared or Cat-Tiered or Cat-Tiered, I don't know how you say it. I love this pen. It has a wonderful single placer with a long neck. And again, this comes from painting. So I like having some length when I am diamond painting, especially in the neck. But this might be more suited for round. Let me just check here. No, I could pick up my square very nicely, and I can see the top edge of it there. Okay, so I like seeing some edge, which is why I press up against this edge when I pick up my drills. And then it has it comes like this with a 2-placer, just a 2. So a 2-placer might be a nice way to start. And I don't know, I've had this putty in here for a while, but it is ARTDOT putty. So let's just align our drills again. I'm even gentle when I align my drills. I could use a little bit more in here, but okay. Let's just grab this line here, and I would do it the same way. I press in and I pick up 2, and you can see they're nicely, by pressing it into that edge, they're nicely aligned on the top. And see that? Nicely aligned. And we'll practice with a 2-placer, but I'll give you some time with that if you want to get this one also. And we'll come back to this next week. But if you do, I would say get this as a practice kit, because I do like the different techniques that are in here. Color blocking, patchwork, and some multi-placing. I hope you had a good time. I did. I wasn't expecting to have this much fun. I mean, I love all the work that I do, but I loved that I slowed myself down and that I really enjoyed this. And while I was doing this, I was thinking, this is great for me to listen to my audiobook. I know where I'm going. I have a little section here. And if that took me about an hour to do, well, of course I'm talking, you know, I have a nice chunk of time that I can catch up on a show. And it's nice to take a break and look up every now and again and look away from your canvas. Not only give your hands a rest, but also give your eyes a rest. And I will see you, my friends, as always, in the next one. Have fun. Breathe, blink, stretch, enjoy. Enjoy your canvas and enjoy the time that you carve out for yourself to practice your craft. This is a craft. See you soon, my friends. Bye.